Part 11. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wu Nian. Chapter 101. The female leopard was a little confused at first, and seemed to not know how to deal with the little monkey. She looked at the body of the mother monkey, and then subconsciously looked at Chen Mu. Chen Mu raised his head and looked at it. The female leopard seemed a little uneasy when she met Chen Mu's gaze. I don't know what it was thinking at the moment. At this time, the female leopard picked up the little monkey, then quickly came down from the tree and quickly escaped from Chen Mu's sight. Chen Mu was slightly stunned. Is it because the little monkey is more delicious because you don't want an adult female monkey, Chen Mu thought, while moving and following the female leopard. This female leopard seemed to be consciously avoiding Chen Mu, probably because she was afraid that Chen Mu would do something to the little monkey. But this time, the female leopard was Chen Mu's mission female leopard, and letting it escape was naturally impossible. The leopard was very fast, but Chen Mu was also a leopard, and at the same time he had a threefold speed bonus, so the female leopard naturally couldn't run away. Soon, the figure of the female leopard appeared in Chen Mu's field of vision. Seeing the female leopard's actions, Chen Mu was stunned. The female leopard carried the little monkey to the trunk of another tree. It was just like taking care of a leopard cub, lying next to the little monkey and licking the little monkey with its tongue, as if it was its own child. The little monkey was obviously born not long ago. It didn't know what danger was, nor did it know that its mother had been killed by the female leopard. But it seemed to be able to feel the female leopard's friendliness towards it. It subconsciously leaned towards the female leopard, as if seeking the protection of the female leopard. The leopard protected it by its side and let it get close to itself. The little monkey leaned in the leopard's arms with his eyes closed and was about to rest. Seeing this, Chen Mu understood that the female leopard was not going to eat the little monkey, but was taking care of the little monkey as a child. It's really hard to understand that it killed its mother, but took care of it as its own child. In fact, although it is rare to adopt the cubs of prey as your own children, it does exist. However, the ending of herbivorous cubs adopted by predators is always tragic. The female leopard discovered Chen Mu's presence, and it stared at Chen Mu while protecting the little monkey. Chen Mu slowly sat down and looked at it. The female leopard slowly got up, carefully climbed down the tree, and then walked in front of Chen Mu, grinning at Chen Mu. If your target is it, I won't allow you to attack it. Chen Mu heard it and said, You want to adopt it? The female leopard said, Yes, from now on it is my child, I will take good care of it. Chen Mu said, Don't worry, I won't attack it, but can you take care of it? The female leopard was startled, and it looked at Chen Mu strangely, as if it didn't expect Chen Mu to be so easy to talk to. Of course I will take good care of it. The female leopard no longer grinned at Chen Mu, but walked in front of Chen Mu. Although she was not as vigilant as before, she also subconsciously kept a distance from Chen Mu. Obviously, in her eyes, Chen Mu was still a potential threat. When a female leopard has a child, it will no longer be in heat. So if a male leopard sees a female leopard with a child, the male leopard will choose to kill the female leopard's child. In this way, the leopard that has lost its child will soon enter the estrus period. Therefore, after a female leopard has her own child, she will be very wary of other male leopards. Although the monkey is obviously not the child of this female leopard, the female leopard wants to feed the monkey as her own child, which will also affect the arrival of the female leopard's estrus period. This is why the female leopard is so wary of Chen Mu. Chen Mu doesn't care so much. However, Chen Mu is very interested in whether the female leopard in front of him can feed the little monkey. The female leopard saw that Chen Mu didn't speak, and it felt that Chen Mu was a little strange, but it didn't think much, and didn't pay attention to this strange male leopard. It turned and left. Chen Mu looked at the figure of the female leopard and didn't do anything to stop it. He planned to observe first. Chen Mu climbed up the tree trunk next to him and rested on it. Halfway through his sleep, Chen Mu, who was always alert, heard a noise. He opened his eyes and looked in the direction of the female leopard. The female leopard was carrying a little monkey down the tree, ready to leave. Seeing this, Chen Mu's mouth curled up. Although Chen Mu had told the female leopard that he would not attack the little monkey, it was obvious that the female leopard was still worried and wanted to quietly leave and avoid Chen Mu while he was resting. Its idea was very good, but it was obviously not easy to get rid of Chen Mu. Many cats have this habit. Unlike the albatross with a hole in its brain, cats like leopards will choose to move their children to other safe places on the same day when they feel that their children are threatened. Chen Mu got up and followed the female leopard. This time Chen Mu followed from a distance to avoid being discovered by it. The next day, the female leopard hid the little monkey in the bushes and went hunting. The leopard dragged a zebra carcass to feed the little monkey. But the problem was that the little monkey didn't eat it at all. Chen Mu watched this scene from a tree trunk in the distance. He was a little amused. This little monkey probably hasn't been weaned yet, how can it eat meat? Chen Mu muttered. But the leopard's intelligence naturally didn't know about this. It was a little confused when the little monkey didn't eat. But there was nothing it could do. This continued for 2 days. The leopard kept trying to feed the little monkey with meat, but the little monkey just wouldn't eat. 2 days later, the little monkey was too hungry and lay on the ground without moving. The leopard came back from hunting again and looked at the little monkey lying in the grass without making any sound. It walked around the little monkey at a loss, licking the little monkey with its tongue, as if trying to wake the little monkey up in a way similar to human touch. But the little monkey had already died. It raised its paw and pushed the little monkey. But the little monkey still didn't move. The leopard stood there, looking at the little monkey's body, and stood there for a long time. Finally, it walked away. Chen Mu looked at the back of the female leopard. He jumped down from the tree, and walked to catch up with the female leopard. The female leopard noticed Chen Mu approaching, and she glanced at him, then retracted her gaze and ignored him. But now she was not as vigilant as before. Chen Mu said, "Have you taken care of it?" The female leopard turned her head and looked at Chen Mu, baring her teeth. "Do you want to fight?" She was angry. Chen Mu was startled, and he said, "I just didn't see the little monkey, so I asked." The female leopard glanced at Chen Mu, retracted her gaze, and ignored him. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 102. Chen Mu looked at the female leopard beside him. According to the requirements of the mission, he would stay with this female leopard for a year. If it escaped while he was resting like before, Chen Mu would have a headache. What should he do? Chen Mu looked forward. It was already evening. The sun had already set halfway, and the western sky was dyed with a red glow. Suddenly, a group of antelopes appeared in Chen Mu's field of vision. The African antelope. Antelopes are also one of the prey of leopards. In other words, leopards have a lot of prey, ranging from herbivores to carnivores, and they will even eat their own kind. Of course, antelopes are much more delicious than many prey. However, the female leopard had just finished hunting and eating, so it had no interest in these prey. Chen Mu retracted his gaze, and he was not in a hurry, just following the female leopard. Until the next day. The female leopard was probably hungry, so it found the place where the herd of antelopes was and started hunting. Chen Mu looked at the female leopard, crouching, using its unique protective color, lurking in the grass, and approaching the antelopes little by little. With the speed of the leopard, it is basically impossible to catch up with the antelopes directly. Leopards are smart animals. They hunt by ambush, and then hunt the old, weak, sick, and disabled targets. It is very difficult for leopards to hunt strong adult antelopes. Of course, they can hunt, but it takes too much time, and if they are not careful, they may get injured, and the cost is relatively high. So leopards usually pick the weak ones. Looking at the cautious look of the female leopard, Chen Mu felt inexplicably funny. "Let me show you my skills," Chen Mu muttered. "Since I have to stay with it for a year, it is my companion. Then hunting, naturally, I have to have my own share." Chen Mu moved. Chen Mu pounced on the antelopes in front of him. Seeing Chen Mu's actions, the female leopard was stunned for a moment, and then said, "What are you doing?" It was a little depressed. How could it catch prey if it rushed forward like this? The antelopes were frightened by Chen Mu and ran away directly. It originally wanted to lurk over, but with such a commotion, all the previous efforts were in vain. There was no other way. The leopard could only give up lurking, stand up directly, and rush forward with Chen Mu. But at this moment, everything that happened in front of it made the female leopard open her eyes wide. I saw Chen Mu pounce into the frightened antelope at a speed that it could not understand at all. Those antelopes had obviously discovered Chen Mu and had begun to run away. A normal leopard cannot catch up with an adult antelope without an ambush. But Chen Mu caught up with it all at once, and after catching up, he pounced on it. At the moment of approaching, Chen Mu used bio-armoring. His claws were covered with silver armor, and the sharp claws also turned into silver claws. One claw swung out. Puff! The antelope's neck was torn by the silver claws. The throat was directly broken. Blood gushed out. The antelope fell to the ground in pain. He struggled to get up, but his throat was broken and his body gradually became weak. He couldn't get up. He could only lie on the ground and twitch, letting the blood in his throat overflow and stain the ground red. Chen Mu stood beside the adult antelope, watching the antelope twitch and slowly die. Watching this scene, Chen Mu looked back at the female leopard. The female leopard stared at the scene blankly, and seemed to be unable to recover. Chen Mu lowered his head, opened his mouth, picked up the adult antelope, dragged it, came to the front of the female leopard, and placed the adult antelope in front of it. The female leopard looked at Chen Mu in confusion. Leopards are solitary. Even in the breeding season, male leopards are hands-off. After having offspring, they are completely left to the female leopards to raise. Therefore, if leopards share food, at most they share it with cubs when taking care of them, but not with adult leopards, which is almost impossible. No wonder the female leopard was confused. Chen Mu said, "Eat if you are hungry." The female leopard looked at Chen Mu. "You are so weird." Chen Mu looked at the leopard and didn't say anything, just stepped aside. The female leopard looked at Chen Mu and saw that Chen Mu really intended to give the food to her. It felt very strange, but accepted it. It looked at Chen Mu. "Let's go." "Go? Where to?" Chen Mu couldn't help but wonder. The female leopard looked at Chen Mu strangely when she heard it. "Of course, drag the body to the tree, otherwise the hyenas will come and snatch it away." As she said, the female leopard held the prey in her mouth and dragged the prey towards the woods. Seeing this, Chen Mu smiled. "You are not so wary of me at the beginning, and you subconsciously regard me as a companion? It seems that it has almost succeeded. Next, just wait for time to pass, and the task can be completed." Chen Mu followed the leopard. Not long after following, Chen Mu suddenly saw the leopard stop. It let go of the prey in its mouth and stared at the front. Chen Mu noticed the leopard's demeanor, and he also looked forward. Seeing it, Chen Mu was slightly startled. There is a leopard in front. This leopard is much stronger than the female leopard. Obviously, this is a male leopard. Male leopard appears here. In other words, is this its territory? Male leopards have their own territory and they will drive away other male leopards in their territory. As for Chen Mu's existence, compared to this male leopard, Chen Mu is an intruder. The male leopard did not charge over. The reason is simple. After Chen Mu completed that mission, he is now much larger than an adult male leopard. Judging by its size, It couldn't determine whether it was Chen Mu's opponent, but if it was asked to give up its territory like this, it couldn't do it. He could only stand there and stare at Chen Mu. It seems that he is giving final thoughts. And for Chen Mu, the mission also mentioned that I should define my own territory. In other words, as long as I kill the male leopard in front of me, then its territory will be my territory, Chen Mu muttered. Thinking of this, Chen Mu did not hesitate. He moved his body and pounced towards the male leopard. When the male leopard saw it, he was so frightened that he turned around and ran away. In order to ensure that he could own this territory, Chen Mu was not going to let the leopard go. As soon as he got close, his claws turned into steel and silver claws, and he swept his claws away. Ouch! Accompanied by a wailing cry. The whole body of the male leopard flew out and fell to the ground. There was a claw mark on its neck that was deep enough to see the bone, and blood sprayed out. It struggled to get up and ran again, but halfway through, it fell down again. After falling, it never stood up again. When Chen Mu saw this, "It's done." He turned around, looked at the stunned female leopard, and said, "Let's go." Leopards are predators. If such a predator is seriously injured, it will lose its ability to hunt, and the only result in the end is to starve to death. Moreover, Chen Mu's claw had already torn the throat of the male leopard, so the leopard was basically destined to die. Therefore, Chen Mu does not need to care at all. But the female leopard was a little confused. The female leopard was not that familiar with Chen Mu, but she was very familiar with the male leopard because her territory was within the territory of that male leopard. The male leopard was a strong adult leopard, and when this adult leopard faced Chen Mu, he had almost no ability to resist. This was so unexpected. It came back to its senses and saw that Chen Mu had walked away. It picked up the antelope carcass again and followed Chen Mu. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 103. Chen Mu found a thick tree and climbed up along the trunk. He looked at the female leopard below, which was dragging the adult antelope this way, and seemed to be struggling. However, it's no wonder. The antelope that Chen Mu hunted was the African eland. There are many species of antelopes, and the African eland is the largest of all antelopes. An adult African eland generally weighs 1,600 kilograms, while an adult leopard generally weighs only 200 kilograms. It's no wonder that the leopard seems to have a hard time dragging it. It struggled to drag the prey under the big tree, released its mouth, and put the prey down. It raised its head and looked at the big tree. This big tree is very big and the trunk is very thick. Although the antelope is very heavy, it can be hung up. But obviously, this female leopard couldn't do it. A leopard can drag prey up to 3 times its own weight, but this adult eland was not something it could drag up. Chen Mu also saw this. He walked down from the tree, and under the gaze of the female leopard, he picked up the eland and climbed up the tree trunk. After Chen Mu gained 50% of the evolutionary energy progress, his body size increased by a full circle, and his weight had already exceeded the weight of an adult leopard. Such an antelope is nothing to him. He hung the eland carcass on a tree and looked down at the female leopard. Chen Mu said, "Come up." The female leopard looked at Chen Mu's actions with surprise in her eyes. It couldn't pick up such a heavy thing, but it was so easy for him. The female leopard climbed up the tree. Chen Mu lay on the tree trunk minding his own business and looked at the female leopard. The female leopard looked at Chen Mu cautiously, then approached the eland's carcass and began to eat. Chen Mu didn't care, turned his head and looked into the distance. The scenery here is still good, but the weather is a bit hot. A human being would definitely not be able to stand this kind of weather. Chen Mu wagged his tail leisurely. Suddenly, there was movement around him. When Chen Mu came back to his senses, he found that the leopard had come over and was licking his hair. For leopards, there are many ways to show affection to their companions, and licking their fur is one of them. It was obvious that this female leopard had begun to accept Chen Mu's existence and regarded Chen Mu as a companion. Chen Mu ignored it, withdrew his gaze and looked into the distance. For Chen Mu, it is enough as long as the goal is achieved, and it is enough if the relationship reaches the level of companionship. An eland can produce a lot of meat, which is enough for Chen Mu and the female leopard to eat for a while. Of course, as long as it is food, there will always be a time when it is finished. 2 days later, Chen Mu and the female leopard walked on the grassland again, looking for the next prey. Suddenly, Chen Mu stopped. The female leopard next to her also stopped. "What's wrong?" she asked subconsciously. Chen Mu looked ahead. In the front, a black creature that was about the size of an adult leopard was resting on a tree. The guy also noticed Chen Mu and looked at Chen Mu. This is a black panther. Black panthers are relatively rare, and Chen Mu didn't expect to encounter them here. "That guy looks really weird," a voice came from the side. Chen Mu came to his senses and said, "Black panther, of course, looks strange." Black panther, the female leopard looked at Chen Mu. "What is a black panther?" Chen Mu was startled, and he subconsciously looked at the female leopard. According to the previous system translations, the system would translate the creatures you describe into information it can understand, but this time it didn't understand. Why? Chen Mu thought for a moment, then looked at the black panther. "What is it?" Since the leopard doesn't call it black panther, what does the leopard call it? "It's a leopard just like us." The female leopard looked at Chen Mu strangely. "It looks a little weird, but it's not like you can't tell. You're so weird." Chen Mu was stunned. "Black panther, is it a leopard?" Chen Mu didn't know the black panther that well, so naturally he didn't know. But in fact, the black panther is a genetically mutated leopard. For example, cubs born to jaguars and leopards may have all their hair turned black due to genetic mutations, that is, black panthers. In the eyes of humans, a black panther is a panther, and a leopard is a leopard. But in the eyes of a leopard, a black panther is a leopard, but it looks a little weird. Of course, Chen Mu didn't understand. But after hearing what the leopard next to him said, Chen Mu subconsciously took a closer look at the black panther. From the black panther, Chen Mu did feel the same kind of aura. At the same time, he could also determine the gender of the black panther, which was a female black panther. Going forward, it should be the territory of the female leopard. The territory of the male leopard will cover the territory of several female leopards. Naturally, that area also belongs to Chen Mu's territory. It's not surprising to encounter another female leopard in the territory. Chen Mu didn't think much and continued looking for food. The black panther watched Chen Mu leave. Chen Mu hadn't left for long when he suddenly heard a strange cry. "Ouch!" The voice was short. "A lot of it?" Chen Mu raised his head and looked at the source of the sound. "Over there you can see a group of hyenas barking and moving around." "It's a pack of hyenas," the leopard said. "From the sound, there are 23 adult hyenas." The leopard can judge the number of hyenas by the sound, and judge the strength of the opponent by the number, and thus decide whether to fight or run. "Let's go," the leopard said to Chen Mu. "We can't beat them." The number of hyenas is not small. The female leopard realized that she and Chen Mu together are not the opponents of those hyenas, but she is not nervous, because the distance between them and the hyenas is still a little far. With the speed of her and Chen Mu, they can run away even if they are discovered by the hyenas. The leopard was about to leave, but she found that Chen Mu did not leave, but stood there, looking at the hyenas. "What are you doing?" The female leopard showed a puzzled look and looked at Chen Mu in confusion. Chen Mu said, "This is my territory. These stupid dogs ran to my territory. This is a provocation to me." As he said, Chen Mu was not afraid, but walked towards the group of hyenas. The female leopard was stunned and looked at Chenmu for a while. Chenmu is currently very big, almost the same size as a male lion, but the problem is that even a male lion can only run away when facing a pack of 23 hyenas. The female leopard couldn't figure out what Chenmu was going to do. Several hyenas also noticed Chenmu, and they all raised their heads and looked over here. Suddenly one of the hyenas howled. The other hyenas all looked over here. Noticing Chenmu, the group of hyenas started running and walked quickly towards the side. Obviously, they were going to attack Chenmu and teach this ignorant leopard a lesson. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 104. Oh! The hyenas let out a short, rapid cry, and ran towards Chenmu one by one. When they were approaching, they stared at Chenmu getting closer and closer, seemingly planning to find an opportunity to attack Chenmu. Chenmu swept around, and these hyenas unknowingly surrounded Chenmu. Now it is difficult for Chenmu to run away. But Chenmu didn't need to run at all. Chenmu showed a sneer, comparing quantity, right. After he finished speaking, another giant leopard appeared next to Chenmu's body. Avatar ability. After seeing Chenmu's clone appear out of thin air, the hyenas were stunned for a moment. The female leopard watching the battle from a distance couldn't help but blink. Before the group of hyenas could react, suddenly, one of the hyenas pounced on the hyena next to them and started biting them desperately. Ouch! The hyena let out a mournful cry, yelling angrily and struggling. The ability to control. Suddenly, Chenmu and the clone beside him doubled in size. In an instant, the clone turned into an extremely huge giant leopard. Chenmu's previous size became about the same size as a lion due to evolutionary energy, but now his size has doubled. At this moment, his size was larger and more terrifying than that of a lion. Double your size. Chenmu and his clone were wearing silver armor. Two giant leopards wrapped in silver armor pounced on the hyenas. When the 23 hyenas saw this scene, they turned around and ran away. At this moment, they had completely lost their fighting spirit. Just run. Chenmu waved his paw, and a hyena was cut into 3 pieces by the sharp claws. Opening and biting its mouth, the hyena was shattered. Of the 23 hyenas, only 7 escaped at one time, and the remaining hyenas were all turned into corpses on the ground. Chenmu looked at the fleeing hyenas. The clone beside him disappeared, and his body slowly changed back to its original appearance. Chenmu smelled the smell of blood. The smell of blood was mixed with the unique odor of hyenas. This smell was not very pleasant. He frowned subconsciously, retracted his gaze, and looked back at the female leopard behind him. The female leopard stood blankly in the distance, her mouth slightly opened, looking at Chenmu with eyes full of disbelief. Looking at its expression, Chenmu said, "These hyena meat is not delicious, let's find other prey." The female leopard watched Chenmu walk away, then regained consciousness and quickly followed Chenmu. Chenmu used several abilities this time, but Chenmu didn't care because he had completed the first task that limited his abilities, and now it was the second task, and this second task did not limit his abilities. So, if you want to use your abilities or whatever, just use them. With the help of his abilities, Chenmu quickly captured a prey. It's an adult zebra. Chenmu and the female leopard were enjoying zebra meat together. However, at this moment, it's a leopard. 2 humans carrying shotguns stood behind a big tree not far away. One of the muscular male humans stared at Chenmu and the female leopard who were eating. "Look at that leopard." Next to him, there was a bald man who was also carrying a shotgun. The bald man's attention was completely focused on Chenmu. "Tisk, tisk, tisk, what a big leopard. This size is comparable to that of a lion, right? It's incredible, can a leopard grow so big? This thing is so big. I have killed a lot of leopards in my life, but this is the first time I have seen one this big." This is probably the king of leopards. If I can hunt it, the layer of skin on it will probably it can be sold for a lot of money, the short-haired man said as he picked up the shotgun and pointed the muzzle of the shotgun at Chen Mu. When the bald man heard this, he said, "Such a big leopard cannot be brought down with one shot. I will take a shot." As he spoke, he took out his shotgun and pointed it at Chen Mu. The short-haired man aimed at Chen Mu, squinted his eyes, and then pulled the trigger of the shotgun. Bang, accompanied by a gunshot. Bullets ejected from the muzzle and shot at Chen Mu. Almost at the same time, the bald man also pulled the trigger, and bullets appeared at the same time. 2 bullets passed through the air and shot towards Chen Mu. The silver armor on Chen Mu appeared instantly. Chiang chiang. Along with the sound of 2 hard objects colliding, the firelight lit up the silver armor on Chen Mu's body. Chen Mu slowly stopped eating, turned his head leisurely, and looked at the 2 poachers. Those 2 people, Chen Mu, had discovered it a long time ago, but Chen Mu was too lazy to pay attention. After all, Chen Mu was once a human being. Although he has somewhat forgotten the feeling of being a human being, he still has a human heart. So when he saw those 2 humans, Chen Mu had no intention of paying attention. Just use your conscious vision to look at them and see what they want to do. But Chen Mu never expected that those 2 humans had so many choices to choose from, but they chose the worst choice. Chen Mu was wrapped in steel armor and walked towards the 2 poachers step by step. In Africa, some countries will lease some parts of Africa to hunting companies, and the hunting companies will circle those places and call them hunting areas. Then those who are looking for excitement will pay money to come here to hunt and experience the excitement of hunting beasts. There are many kinds of beasts, and leopard is one of them. In addition to this, leopards located outside hunting areas have been illegally poached by some poachers. An average adult leopard would be doomed to die if facing a human hunting rifle. But Chen Mu was special. What is this guy? The short-haired man's eyes widened when he saw the biological armor that was armed to the teeth on Chen Mu's body. He seemed a little bit unbelievable. The bald man was also a little stunned. What kind of monster is this? Shoot! Shoot! The short-haired man was anxious, and he hurriedly pulled the trigger at Chen Mu. Chen Mu did not dodge, allowing the bullets to fall on his biological armor. Only a little spark could be seen when those bullets hit the armor. Chen Mu was too lazy to waste more time following the 2 two-legged apes, so he ran. The speed made the 2 poachers' eyes widen. Puff, the sharp claws scratched the neck of one of the short-headed men, and blood spurted. The short-headed man fell to the ground and was silent. Chen Mu landed on all fours, shaking his tail, slowly turned around, and looked at the bald man. The bald man's face was full of panic and anxiety. "Ah! Ah!" he screamed, and shot at Chen Mu while screaming. Chen Mu's body was covered with flames. The control ability was used. The bald man's pupils turned gray, and he unconsciously reached out and took out a saber from his trouser pocket. He cut his throat with a knife. He fell to the ground, his body twitching, and blood oozing out. His gray pupils regained light, and he came to his senses, covering his throat with his hands, staring at Chen Mu with fear and panic in his eyes. Chen Mu removed the biological armor, looked at the bald man indifferently, and said lightly, "How stupid." When the bald man heard Chen Mu's voice, his pupils shrank, and the fear inside became more intense. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 105. Chen Mu glanced at the bald man and walked away. The light in the bald man's pupils slowly dissipated, and his eyes became dim. Seeing Chen Mu coming back, the female leopard came over, rubbed Chen Mu with her body, and said, "Are you okay?" "Nothing," Chen Mu said lightly, "just 2 blind people who are looking for death." The female leopard hummed, and it looked at the 2 corpses not far away. Chen Mu said, "Eat zebra meat, don't touch those 2." Yeah, the female leopard responded obediently, and went back to eat zebra meat with Chen Mu. After eating, the female leopard dragged the remaining food to the tree as usual, and hung it on the tree to prevent it from being snatched by other animals. Seeing the female leopard's actions, Chen Mu didn't say much. With Chen Mu, you can have as much food as you want, and starvation is impossible. Of course, Chen Mu was too lazy to explain. Besides, this is the habit of the leopard, and he is too lazy to care about it. Chen Mu rested on the tree trunk as usual. The trees here are very old, and the trunks are thick. Chen Mu climbed up without any problem. At this time, the female leopard came over, lowered her head, and rubbed Chen Mu's body. Chen Mu raised his head and looked at it. During this period, it was more intimate with him. The female leopard looked at Chen Mu and said, "I'm ready." Chen Mu was slightly startled and looked at it with some confusion. "What?" The female leopard said, "Reproduction, I can." Ah, Chen Mu was stunned. Chen Mu was a little stunned by the sudden words of the female leopard, but after thinking about it, Chen Mu understood. The estrus period of the female leopard has arrived. Generally, female animals have maternal instincts. The female leopard in front of him adopted the little monkey because of maternal instincts. At that time, it raised the little monkey as its own child. As a result, the little monkey died. Although it was not its own cub, it must have stimulated it. The death of the cub will stimulate the female leopard to go into heat. Some male leopards will use this method to kill the female leopard's children to stimulate the female leopard. And now the female leopard in front of him has also ushered in its estrus period due to the influence of the death of the little monkey. After Chen Mu came to his senses, he calmed down and said, "No, I'm not interested in this." As he said, he retracted his sight and looked forward. The female leopard was stunned for a moment, looking at Chen Mu, a little confused. It walked back and forth on the tree, seeming a little at a loss. However, it seemed that it had no way to deal with this kind of thing. Chen Mu didn't care what the leopard would think. His purpose was just to spend a year with this female leopard. As for what would happen next, he was not interested. He couldn't accept having children with a female leopard. Time passed day by day. On this day, Chen Mu and the female leopard were hunting outside, but they encountered another situation halfway. Chen Mu stood in the grass, and his sharp ears heard the movement at once. Chen Mu subconsciously looked towards the source of the movement. At a glance, Chen Mu saw a group of creatures that looked like dogs walking in the distance. These creatures looked similar to dogs, but their ears were round and big, which was a bit different from the ears of dogs in Chen Mu's cognition, and their forelegs were longer than those of ordinary dogs. After watching for a while, Chen Mu recognized the identity of these creatures. African wild dogs. In Africa, someone ranked the wild animals in Africa. The eldest is the African lion, the second brother is the African hyena, and the African wild dogs in front of him are the third brother. The reason why leopards cannot be ranked is that leopards are solitary animals. When a lone ranger leopard encounters a group of predators, the leopard can only run. This is a group of African wild dogs in front of him, and there are a total of 32 heads by visual estimation. They also saw Chen Mu. After seeing Chen Mu, they began to call and approached Chen Mu. For the African wild dogs, leopards are also one of their prey. African wild dogs can directly tear an adult leopard into pieces and eat it. If an adult leopard encounters a pack of African wild dogs, the only choice for the adult leopard is to escape, otherwise it can only become food for the wild dogs. Chen Mu watched the wild dogs making rapid and high-pitched calls and coming towards the side. These wild dogs obviously don't know Chen Mu's ability. They probably think that Chen Mu is just a larger leopard. There is an avatar next to Chen Mu. When the avatar appeared, the speed of the wild dogs approaching slowed down a bit. Seeing this, Chen Mu muttered, "It seems that these things still have brains. When they saw me summoning the avatar, they realized that something was wrong. But now it's not that easy to run. The size of the avatar suddenly increased, and the body changed from a leopard to a giant polar bear as tall as a floor. The giant polar bear was covered with steel and silver armor. The giant polar bear turned into an armored bear. When the wild dogs saw this, they realized that the crisis was coming. They almost turned around and ran away subconsciously. The armored bear transformed by Shenmue's clone roared angrily. Roar! The clone rushed towards the wild dogs. There was no need to attack deliberately, the huge body ran over. The wild dogs were crushed as soon as they were run over by the armored bear. AHH. Accompanied by a series of wailing. Giant footprints were left behind where the armored bear had stepped, and beneath the footprints were the bodies of wild wolves that had been trampled to pieces. The body of the armored bear disappeared. The wild dogs also ran away. Looking at this scene, Shenmue said, "It's really weak." However, looking at these wild dogs and thinking of the hyenas he had met before, Shenmue couldn't help but think of wolves, which are also canids. Wild dogs and hyenas, which are also canids, can survive in Africa, so why are there no wolves in Africa? There is a kind of wolf in Africa called the jackal, but the jackal is not a real wolf, and is completely different from the wolf that Shenmue had turned into before. According to analysis, the reason why there are no wolves in Africa is that there are other creatures in Africa that have replaced the position of wolves, such as hyenas and wild dogs. Moreover, the environment where wolves live is different from that in Africa. If wolves are moved to Africa, it will take some time for them to evolve to adapt to the environment there, and the final result is estimated to be that they will evolve into creatures that can use the environment there, similar to African wild dogs. "What are you thinking about?" a voice came from Shenmue's side, and the leopard came over and rubbed Shenmue's leopard body with its body. Shenmue said, "Nothing, let's go." Not long after Shenmue left, an off-road vehicle came here. A man with a gun protected a woman from getting off the car. The woman looked at the devastated environment in front of her and the corpses one after another, and her eyes widened. What's going on? And this scene was also captured by Shenmue through his conscious vision. Shenmue had noticed these two people a long time ago. Previously, Shenmue killed the two poachers, and the bodies of the two poachers were discovered by humans. Later, these two appeared, seemingly investigating the deaths of the two poachers. This time, Shenmue made a big noise, which naturally attracted their attention. Shenmue stared at them through his conscious vision. As long as these two guys don't pay attention to me, it doesn't matter. If they start to pay attention to me, but then look at the situation, choose to stay or not. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 106. Time goes by day. Shenmue and the female leopard patrol their territory when they have nothing to do. In fact, they are just spreading salt in their crotch. They are bored, so they just go out for a walk. Leopards don't eat much compared to blue whales. An adult zebra is enough for leopards to eat for several days. Shenmue doesn't need to go hunting all the time, so he is very idle. Every evening, when the sun is not very strong, he goes out for a walk. By the way, you can also see some things happening in nature. A cheetah is walking along the grassland with a little cheetah. Suddenly, the cheetah's ears seem to move, and it subconsciously looks in one direction. In the distance, a male lion is standing not far away, and its eyes also see the cheetah. The cheetah's expression changes. It quickly turns around and picks up the little cheetah. The little cheetah is confused. The grass on the grassland is very high, which can hide half of the cheetah's body. The cheetah picked up the little cheetah and tried to lie flat to avoid being seen by the lion. It held the little cheetah in its mouth and hid it in a dense grass. At this time, the lion also found the cheetah. As soon as it saw the cheetah, the lion rushed over here. After the cheetah hid the little cheetah, it saw the lion rushing over. It looked scared, but it faced the lion. After getting close to the lion for a distance, it suddenly turned sideways and ran to the right. The lion pounced in the direction of the cheetah. The cheetah ran very fast, and the lion pounced in vain for a while. When the lion saw this, it slowly stopped, but its face was ferocious. The cheetah saw that the lion did not chase it, and it looked at the lion from a distance, with an uneasy look. When a cheetah with a child encounters a powerful predator, it will hide the cub and use its body as bait to lure away the predator. This is the tactic that the cheetah uses to protect its child. This tactic is useful in most cases, but it is not always useful. The male lion did not intend to continue chasing, which made the cheetah a little uneasy. Because the male lion was not far away from the cheetah's child. But now the cheetah did not dare to attack the male lion. After all, it was an adult male lion, a presence that even hyenas would have to walk around. And it was just a cheetah that even two hyenas could easily kill. Ah! Suddenly, a voice sounded. It was the voice of the little cheetah, Milky. Hearing this voice, the male lion's ears stood up, and its eyes looked at the location of the little cheetah. And the female cheetah's expression suddenly changed. The male lion slowly walked towards the direction of the little cheetah. Chen Mu and the leopard walked aimlessly in their territory together. Suddenly, Chen Mu saw a cheetah standing far away, looking in one direction. The cheetah had a helpless look on its face. Chen Mu looked in the direction the cheetah was looking. He saw a male lion lying on the ground in front of the withered grass, leisurely eating a cheetah cub. The body of the cheetah cub had been torn, revealing bloody flesh. The cheetah was obviously a female cheetah, and the cub was probably its child. Facing a male lion, it could only watch the male lion eat its child. At this time, Chen Mu felt the female leopard next to him come over and rub against Chen Mu. The strong prey on the weak, this is the law of the jungle. It is not only humans who have compassion. Even Chen Mu, a leopard, felt a complex emotion. A mother can only watch her cubs being eaten alive by a male lion in front of her. This kind of pain is probably hard for ordinary people to understand. Chen Mu walked towards the lion. The female leopard looked at Chen Mu. After seeing Chen Mu's strength, the female leopard no longer doubted whether Chen Mu could defeat a lion. As for her companion, the female leopard chose to watch from the side and wait for Chen Mu to finish the work. Leopards are generally lone rangers, and they are solitary creatures. Of course, animals are like people, and nothing is absolute. Chen Mu approached the lion, which was obviously also a stray lion. Lions are social animals. If you see a lion in the wild, it means that it can only be a stray lion. The lion saw Chen Mu, let go of the food in its mouth, stood up, and stared at Chen Mu coldly. The lion is huge and strong, full of momentum. When a 1.8 meter tall and strong adult faces a lion, he can only be as powerless as a baby. At this moment, Chen Mu is a leopard. Although he is a leopard, his size is about the same as the lion in front of him. But a lion is a lion, and the mane on its neck makes it look very imposing. It showed a ferocious look, roar. It roared angrily, and with its claws exposed, it pounced on Chen Mu. Clang! The sharp claws swept across the steel and silver armor on Chen Mu's body, making a harsh sound. The lion was stunned when he saw this scene. Chen Mu's size suddenly increased, and his size doubled in an instant. Seeing the leopard in front of him, which was twice as big as himself, the lion's pupils condensed slightly, and it turned around and wanted to run. Chen Mu stretched out his claws, pressed the lion down, leaned down, and bit the lion's neck. Crack! The lion's throat was broken directly. The lion turned into a corpse in the blink of an eye. After doing these things, After dealing with the lion, Chen Mu's body slowly returned to its original appearance. The female leopard came over and rubbed Chen Mu's shoulder. Chen Mu looked at the cheetah not far away. As soon as the cheetah met Chen Mu's eyes, it was frightened and turned around and ran away. Looking at the cheetah's fleeing figure, Chen Mu retracted his sight and continued to patrol his territory with the female leopard. A year passed quickly. A familiar voice came. Congratulations on completing the task and getting a 50% energy evolution reward. Along with the voice, Chen Mu's body size grew larger at a speed visible to the naked eye. The tree trunk under Chen Mu was broken because of the increase in Chen Mu's body size. The female leopard saw it and quickly jumped down from the tree. Chen Mu also went down the tree trunk. Landed on the ground. Chen Mu's size is still growing. An adult leopard has a shoulder height of about 0.6 meters. After obtaining 50% of the energy, his shoulder height doubled to 1.2 meters. And now Chen Mu's shoulder height has doubled again. A giant leopard with a shoulder height of more than 2 meters appeared in front of the female leopard. You should know that a floor is generally about 3 meters. At this moment, Chen Mu's shoulder height is close to 3 meters. This scene is very scary, even the female leopard widened her eyes when she saw this scene. Congratulations on obtaining 100% of the evolutionary energy, start evolving. In this dark night, Chen Mu's body was wrapped in golden light, which was particularly bright. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 107. Chen Mu raised his paw and looked at it. As time went by, Chen Mu's body completely turned into golden light, and then slowly shrank under the gaze of the female leopard. Soon, the golden light began to condense into a brand new body shape again. The golden light slowly disappeared. Looking at the strange creature in front of her, the female leopard suddenly felt uneasy and took a few steps back. Chen Mu came back to his senses. He opened his eyes and saw the female leopard. But the female leopard looked at him with uneasy eyes. Chen Mu subconsciously raised his paw and looked at his paw. This paw is much larger than the paw of the leopard. Chen Mu couldn't see his appearance, but after looking at his body, he roughly knew what he had become. Of course, in order to confirm his appearance, Chen Mu still chose to open his conscious vision and look at himself through the perspective of God. Is that so? Chen Mu whispered. Sure enough, what he saw through the conscious vision was the same creature as Chen Mu expected. A male lion with a mane. Chen Mu looked at the female leopard in front of him and said, "Don't be afraid, it's me." The female leopard blinked when she heard it. Through language sharing, Chen Mu can communicate with other creatures regardless of their race. Although Chen Mu's body has become a lion, he can still communicate with this female leopard. The female leopard recognized Chen Mu and said, This is. Chen Mu said, because of some special reasons, I can change my appearance according to my thoughts. As he said that, Chen Mu's body changed into the appearance of a leopard. However, when he turned into a leopard, his shoulder height was more than 3 meters, and he still looked very scary. Chen Mu lowered his head and looked at the female leopard, saying, "Isn't it?" The female leopard opened her mouth slightly and looked at Chen Mu, a little dazed. But this is a little too big. When Chen Mu heard it, he changed back to the appearance of a male lion and shrunk to the size of a male lion. Chen Mu said, "After my body becomes bigger, I can't get smaller." The female leopard looked at Chen Mu, and it slowly came over, rubbing Chen Mu's shoulder, while making gurgling breathing sounds. After confirming that Chen Mu was Chen Mu, it naturally accepted Chen Mu's identity. Congratulations on completing the evolution, and getting the evolution reward, Predator Evolution. Predator Evolution? Chen Mu was a little confused. Predator Evolution? What does it mean? The mechanical voice of the system sounded, prey on a creature of the same species, and then use Predator Evolution, you can evolve into that creature. Chen Mu's eyes lit up slightly. What does it mean? In other words, what kind of creature you evolve into now can be decided by yourself. Congratulations on completing the evolution, and getting the evolution reward, glutton evolution. Hearing that another evolution reward was also a reward that he couldn't understand, Chen Mu suddenly became interested. Gluttony evolution, what is it? Use gluttony evolution, and then eat 5 animals, it can cause gene mutations and gain some unique abilities. The mechanical and emotionless voice of the system came. This explanation made Chen Mu feel a little strange. Then, are all the abilities gained by gluttony evolution positive? Chen Mu, who used to be a human, had read books and knew a little about gene mutation. Gene mutations can be good or bad, and the proportion of bad ones is much higher than that of good ones. If I use gluttony evolution and it causes an accident, wouldn't it be the end? Gluttony evolution has good and bad, and it may fail to evolve, and failure may also lead to death. The system's emotionless voice came. Sure enough, just as Chen Mu expected, there will still be bad things about the evolution of gene mutation. However, Chen Mu is still interested in gluttony evolution. Wait a minute. Chen Mu suddenly found a problem. Are there no tasks? Chen Mu asked the system subconsciously. The system said, all tasks have been completed. In other words, there are no more tasks. Chen Mu raised his head and looked at the blue sky. However, if he wants to evolve next, he can completely evolve through predation, that is, he does not need to evolve through swallowing. At night, Chen Mu raised his head and looked at the female leopard resting on the tree. He retracted his gaze and stood up. It has been more than a year, and it is time to leave. The female leopard was resting. It heard the movement. It opened its eyes and saw Chen Mu, who had turned into a lion, walking away step by step. The female leopard came down from the tree. It watched from a distance and watched Chen Mu leave. After a year, Chen Mu has figured out the location of many animals nearby. Chen Mu is not interested in turning into other animals at present. He is more interested in this gluttonous evolution. What will the evolution brought by gene mutation be like? Gluttonous evolution belongs to gene mutation evolution. If I come, I may die if I am unlucky. It is best to pick a lucky person and let it replace me to carry out gluttonous evolution. Chen Mu was a little moved. I use my control ability to capture an animal, and then share the ability of gluttony evolution with it, feed it, and after its gene mutation evolves, I use predation evolution to prey on it, so that I can get the benefits brought by gluttony evolution. Chen Mu's blood surged when he thought of this. This way, he can perfectly avoid the dangers brought by gene mutation and get the highest benefits. Comfortable. So which animal would be better for gene mutation? Chen Mu paused slightly, and his eyes moved not far away. There was a lion group in front of him. Lionesses were resting one by one. There was also a male lion in the lion group. The male lion was resting under a tree. It seemed to have heard the noise and looked towards Chen Mu. Their eyes met. The male lion bared his teeth, stood up suddenly, and rushed towards Chen Mu. Seeing this, Chen Mu's eyes lit up. Then it's you. Under the gaze of the lionesses, the male lion ran quickly to Chen Mu. Seeing that a big battle was inevitable, the lionesses were very nervous. In a lion group, there is usually a male lion as the leader. If the foreign male lion is very strong, he can challenge the male lion leading the lion group. If the challenge is successful, the leader of the lion group will be replaced. The first thing the victorious male lion did when entering the lion group was to kill the lioness's children and induce them to go into heat again. In other words, the battle in front of them might affect whether their children would die or not. However, at this moment, as the Lion King approached the foreign male lion, the Lion King slowed down. The foreign male lion took the Lion King away with him. The lionesses were stunned when they saw this scene. They looked at each other, their eyes full of confusion and puzzlement, as if they didn't understand what was going on. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 108. Chen Mu used his control ability on the Lion King directly, and took the Lion King away, leaving the group of confused lionesses behind. The next day, Chen Mu, in the state of a male lion, lay on a big rock, leisurely watching the Lion King hunting the antelope. There are many species of antelopes in Africa, and the antelope is also one of the African antelopes. The antelope is relatively small in size, and the shoulder height of an adult antelope is only 75 centimeters to 100 centimeters. For a male lion, the antelope is just a simple prey. However, the antelope is very fast, and if the lion wants to hunt the antelope, it needs to cooperate in hunting. A single stray lion needs to hide in the grass and hunt the antelope through ambush. If it is a single lion, it is very difficult to hunt. Generally speaking, lions are hunted by lionesses, and lionesses use a cooperative method. At the beginning, the lionesses also ambushed, but because it is a group hunting, the lionesses have a higher hunting success rate. Now Chen Mu plans to feed the Lion King with impalas, and let the Lion King evolve through gluttony evolution. He wants the Lion King to evolve on his behalf, and then if the result of the evolution is good, he can use predation evolution to prey on the Lion King and obtain the Lion King's evolved state. This method avoids the negative effects of gluttony evolution. Of course, Chen Mu does not plan to hunt impalas himself, but chooses to let the Lion King hunt by himself. Even if it is a male lion, it is not so easy to hunt impalas. After all, impalas are too agile. But this does not bother Chen Mu. Chen Mu uses control ability on the Lion King, and then uses ability sharing to share the triple speed blessing. The Lion King pounced into the impala group. The impalas were scared and ran around, and the Lion King locked one directly and pounced on it. Under the triple speed blessing, the impala could not escape at all. It was directly pounced on by the Lion King, and after being pounced on, gluttony evolution was used. The impala suddenly turned into golden light and sank into the Lion King's body. Chen Mu watched from the side, and there was something new in his eyes. That's the evolution of gluttony, isn't it the same as the ability to devour? Chen Mu muttered. However, this is good. Chen Mu still has a headache. If he has to eat a little bit at a time, it will be a waste of time. After the Lion King swallowed one with the evolution of gluttony, he pounced on the other one under Chen Mu's control. Facing the Lion King with 3 times the speed, the group of impalas had no power to resist at all. Their most proud speed was completely crushed. The Lion King pounced on another one and used the gluttony ability to absorb it again. The requirement for gluttony evolution is 5 animals. Soon under Chen Mu's control, the Lion King used the gluttony evolution ability to absorb 5 impalas. After the last impala was absorbed, the golden light covered the Lion King. Chen Mu stood up and looked at the Lion King. Has it started? Sure enough, the Lion King began to evolve. The golden light enveloped the entire Lion King, and under Chen Mu's gaze, a brand new male lion appeared in front of Chen Mu. Seeing the male lion in front of him, Chen Mu was stunned. Is this genetic evolution? The male lion in front of him grew 2 antelope horns on his head. Its limbs also became slender, just like the feet of an impala. In other words, after swallowing the impala through gluttony evolution, it obtained the impala's genes. Chen Mu guessed, and he said, "Is this a good change? Let's see first." Thinking of this, Chen Mu controlled the lion that mutated the impala gene and let it run. The impala genes obtained by this male lion are manifested in the 4 legs and the 2 horns. The horns are probably useless, but the 4 legs are believed to be of great use. The lion can run at a speed of up to 60 km per hour, while the impala can run at a speed of up to 90 km per hour. There is no comparison in speed. But now that lion has acquired the limbs of the impala through gluttony evolution, its running speed has obviously become much faster. But suddenly, the lion's body tilted forward and fell to the ground. Seeing this, Chen Mu frowned. Failed. Chen Mu split a clone, which turned into a giant armored bear and bit the lion to death. Chen Mu walked to the lion's body and looked at it. His eyes fell on the lion's limbs and its hooves. Chen Mu frowned. Too fast, plus the legs are too long, the body can't use it, causing it to lose balance and fall. Such a genetic mutation evolution has caused the lion's most important weapon, the claws, to directly become hooves. The evolution obtained by this genetic mutation is simply putting the cart before the horse. This is a completely failed gluttony evolution. Chen Mu began to eat the lion's body. The taste of lion meat mixed with impala meat was not what Chen Mu liked, but it was still no problem to fill his stomach. After eating, Chen Mu began to think. Gluttony evolution can fuse the genes of the devoured animal into itself. In other words, if you plan to use gluttony evolution, you have to consider the characteristics of the animal you want to devour. For example, the advantage of the antelope is speed, but to have its speed, you need its body, which means that if you use gluttony evolution, the lion's claws may become sheep's hooves, which is not what Chen Mu wants. Well, I am a lion now. As a lion, what kind of genetic evolution is suitable for me, Chen Mu thought. The lion's strength and lethality are definitely enough. The only shortcoming may be speed. But the problem is that it can't change its feet. Suddenly, Chen Mu had an idea. He subconsciously raised his head and looked at the sky. In the sky, he could see several vultures flapping their wings and soaring in the air. Wings. Chen Mu's eyes lit up slightly. Changing feet will lose lion claws, but wings are different. But gene mutation, this kind of evolution is random, just like the lion just now. Swallowing the antelope will also evolve something like antelope horns. Antelope horns are weapons for antelopes, which can be a favorable weapon when competing for female antelopes. But for lions, the antelope horns are redundant. It's impossible. Lions also compete with antelopes for girls, right? So, this kind of gene mutation does not mean that what is obtained must be what Chen Mu needs. It may be what Chen Mu does not need, then it is useless. That is to say, I still have to use the previous method to find a lion to evolve on my behalf. If it is suitable, I will use predatory evolution to obtain the final result. Thinking of a male lion growing wings, Chen Mu suddenly felt a little excited. Although Chen Mu can turn into a bird, those birds are obviously not as shocking as the combined evolution of birds and lions. As soon as he said it, Chen Mu opened his vision and consciousness and looked for a male lion nearby. As for the lioness, Chen Mu did not consider it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 109. According to the theory of predatory evolution, Chen Mu guessed that if he swallowed a lioness, he would probably become a lioness. He was not interested in sex change. Chen Mu used his conscious vision to find a male lion to replace him in the evolution of gluttony evolution. However, when searching through his conscious vision, Chen Mu realized a problem. Not many. It is said that there are about 23,000 lions in the world. Of course, no one has yet figured out the actual number. But what is certain is that the number of lions is very small. The lion Chen Mu wanted to find was a male lion. Male lions will be forced to leave the lion group after adulthood and face life in the wild alone. At the same time, the survival of male lions is full of competition. Therefore, among lions, the mortality rate of male lions is much higher than that of female lions. Lions are few in number, and the number of male lions is even less than that of female lions. Of course, even so, it is not difficult for Chen Mu, who can use conscious vision, to find male lions. It's just too troublesome. After all, Male lions are few in number, so their distribution range is relatively wide. In this case, if Chenmu needs to do more experiments, he has to travel more and catch them one by one. Chenmu didn't like this kind of trouble. Chenmu thought about it for a while, and he suddenly thought of a way. He looked at the herd of antelopes in the distance. The herd of antelopes was frightened by the lion's attack just now. Now they all ran away and looked at the side, looking like they were still a little scared. Chenmu looked at them and narrowed his eyes. "It's you." The control ability was used. The pupils of an antelope lost their luster. The body of the antelope suddenly changed. It changed directly from the form of an antelope to a male lion. When the antelope turned into a male lion, the antelopes next to it were frightened and retreated, and they all distanced themselves from the male lion that was transformed from the antelope. They looked at the male lion that was transformed from their companions in astonishment, and they were a little at a loss. This is Chenmu's use of control, ability sharing, and transformation. Since he is looking for trouble with the lion, he might as well turn other creatures into lions. This solves the problem of finding lions. Chenmu looked up at the sky. In the African sky, vultures can often be seen. The size of vultures is considered large among birds, but of course not as large as Chenmu, a lion. Chenmu can use control to capture vultures. But the problem is, Chenmu has now used control to control the lion next to him that was transformed from an impala. In other words, if he uses control on a vulture, the lion will lose control. Chenmu changed from a lion to a white-bellied sea eagle. He flapped his huge wings and flew into the air. With the blessing of 3 times the speed, his sharp pupils locked onto the vulture in the air. He flew over quickly. At the moment of approaching, the size doubled. Chenmu's size doubled instantly. The vulture screamed in surprise when it saw the giant white-bellied sea eagle whistling behind it. Chenmu raised his sharp claws, stretched out one claw, and directly pinched the vulture's head. Crack, there was a crisp sound. The sharp claws closed, and the vulture's head was directly crushed. The vulture fell from the sky. The lion below, which was controlled by Chenmu's control ability, ran over quickly. Looking at the lion, Chenmu muttered, "Eat quickly, evolve quickly, so that I can eat you." The lion used gluttony evolution to devour the vulture that fell to the ground. Chenmu watched this scene. He retracted his sight and hunted the next vulture. Soon, as the lion swallowed 5 vultures through gluttony evolution, its body was wrapped in golden light. Seeing this scene, Chenmu's eyes lit up slightly. It started. The golden light slowly shrank under Chenmu's gaze, and seeing the golden light gradually getting smaller, Chenmu's mouth twitched. Not long after, a brand new creature appeared in front of Chenmu. The creature in front of him had black wings like a vulture, and its head had also become a vulture's head. Its neck was long and bald, and only its body was still a lion's body. It looked very ugly. Most importantly, its body size had become very small, a circle smaller than that of an adult male lion. Chenmu was a little helpless. Failed again. This appearance was completely different from what Chenmu had imagined. Chenmu did not intend to take it just because of its ugly appearance, not to mention that its body size had become smaller. Start over. Chenmu turned into a male lion and approached the monster-like thing. Suddenly, Chenmu thought of something. That's right. If I use the ability to change, can I change this wrong mutation back to its original appearance? Chenmu thought about it. He decided to try. Chenmu used ability sharing on it, and then used the ability to change. However, the result was that it could not be changed back. Seeing this, Chenmu was slightly startled. He said to the system, "System, why can't it change back? Gluttony evolution is an evolution based on gene form. After the gene form evolves, it cannot be changed back to the original form." The mechanical voice of the system came. Chenmu understood it as soon as he heard it. In other words, gluttony evolution is irreversible. Chen Mu slapped it with his claws, and the monster was killed by Chen Mu. Forget it. The next one, Chen Mu looked around and his sight fell on a group of zebras in the distance. Chen Mu used his control ability to control a zebra, and then used his transformation ability to turn the zebra into a new lion. Chen Mu once again turned into a white-bellied sea eagle, looking for vultures in the sky to hunt. Soon, the lion devoured 5 vultures in a row and began genetic mutation evolution again. Looking at this scene, Chen Mu's eyes lit up slightly. This time, it did not shrink like the last time, but grew a pair of wings directly from its back. Wait for the golden light to dissipate. The new lion in front of him made Chen Mu's eyes light up. Good. The lion in front of him completely retained the appearance of a lion, but there was a pair of giant wings on its shoulders. This is exactly what Chen Mu wanted to see. Really good. Chen Mu looked at the winged lion, he looked up and down, and after confirming that there was no problem, he nodded. Use predator evolution now? Chen Mu was thinking, he shook his head. No. Chen Mu is not stupid. Sometimes gene mutations are not reflected on the outside. Maybe the outside is good, but the inside is not good. Let's observe for a while. In order to prevent accidents, Chen Mu decided to observe first. He first controlled the flying lion to move. The flying lion ran, flapped its wings behind it, jumped up, and the whole body flew up. Under Chen Mu's gaze, the flying lion flew into the air. It was soaring in the sky like a bird. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 110. However, the flying lion had only been flying for half an hour. Suddenly, Chen Mu saw the winged lion falling from the sky. The force of its flapping wings became weaker, and the wings seemed to be unable to flap. No matter how Chen Mu used his control ability and how he drove it to flap its wings, it could not flap, and its whole body quickly fell to the ground. Boom! Accompanied by a muffled sound. The head of the winged lion was directly smashed, and the whole body fell to the ground, blood spilled, dyeing the wings red. Chen Mu rushed over and looked at the lion lying on the ground without a sound. He frowned. What's going on? Chen Mu knew that genetic mutation evolution would have good and bad effects, but he didn't expect that this lion who had just gained wings would die like this. This made Chen Mu completely clueless. Is this gluttonous evolution too rubbish? Chen Mu felt inexplicably unhappy, and he said, "System, are you kidding me? What's going on? If I was the one who used gluttony evolution, I would have died, and died inexplicably." Analyzing the cause of death. The system's mechanical and emotionless voice came. Analysis completed. The target has evolved through gene mutation and gained vulture wings, but there are no changes in the body. Flying requires a lot of energy, and the target cannot adapt, resulting in a rapid heart rate and sudden death. It is recommended that you devour some animals of the same kind when using gluttony evolution, which can reduce the situation. The system's prompt sounded. Hearing this, Chen Mu's somewhat messy clues were sorted out at once. He understood. The body structure of mammals and birds is different. Whether flapping wings or reducing oxygen due to high altitude during flight, it will cause the heart rate to increase. In order to adapt to flying, the body structure of birds is completely different from that of mammals. Birds have powerful lungs, and they also have a unique way of breathing. We call birds breathing double breathing. During one breath, part of the oxygen is used directly, and part is stored and used later. One breath is equal to 2 breaths. But mammals can't do that. It's a good idea to give wings to lions, but because the lions cultivated by Chen Mu only have wings, but they don't have the organ structure of birds, this makes the lions unable to adapt and die suddenly due to excessive heart rate. In fact, the price birds pay to be able to fly is much higher than imagined. Now the system gives Chen Mu a friendly suggestion, which is to let Chen Mu devour other animals for gluttonous evolution. Indeed, if you give up your wings and devour other mammals instead, it will be much simpler. After all, they are all mammals. Chen Mu thought about it. System, is it true? Mammals really can't evolve by devouring birds to get wings. According to data calculations, mammals can evolve by integrating the genes of birds, but it is extremely difficult. The system continued in an emotionless voice. This system will generally answer Chen Mu's questions. Of course, sometimes it won't answer. But now it will answer, that is to say, it will still explain to Chen Mu about the ability problem. Since the system said so, it means it is possible. Then Chen Mu said, is it extremely difficult? Then come on. Chen Mu said lightly, anyway, he has plenty of time now, and the difficulty is just to consume more time. Perhaps it is indeed much easier to devour other mammals to carry out gluttonous evolution, but what's the use? Now Chen Mu wants to get the pair of wings and evolve the genes of the lion. What else? Where can I find a winged lion that makes my blood boil? Since I want to do it, Chen Mu doesn't plan to give up. Chen Mu continues to use his control and transformation abilities to turn the captured animals into lions, and then capture vultures to feed the lions to obtain new creatures. The new creature generated again has no wings, and it fails. It has wings, a lion body, a griffin head, and is too small, and it fails. It has wings, a lion body and a lion head, and a perfect body shape. It died after flying for 2 hours, and it fails. With wings, lion body, vulture head, perfect body shape, too ugly, failed. Without wings, failed. With wings, vulture body, failed. Chen Mu experimented for a full 120 times. Finally, Chen Mu got a brand new creature. Looking at the creature in front of him, Chen Mu was slightly startled, and he walked around the creature in front of him. It has wings, the front half is a vulture body, and the back half is a lion. Before, the whole body was used directly, whether it was a vulture body or a lion body, but this time why is it half vulture and half lion? This body size is slightly larger than that of an ordinary male lion, and the body shape is perfect. If Chen Mu hadn't used his ability to double his body size, it is estimated that he would not be able to control it. However, the vulture's unique big head and long neck made this thing's appearance a little lower, a little ugly. Forget it, Chen Mu said, let's fly and see first. It's rare for a mutant creature to appear, so let's fly and see. Under Chen Mu's control, the lion vulture flapped its wings and flew into the sky. Chen Mu stood on the stone, raised his head and looked at the half-lion, half-vulture animal flying in the air. Just watch it first. The new things he had acquired before basically died suddenly after flying for a few hours. This lion vulture was a little special, but Chen Mu didn't have much hope. Time passed by, from morning to evening. Chen Mu was a little surprised to see the lion vulture still hovering leisurely in the air. Half a day, it's not dead. Chen Mu's eyes lit up slightly. Did it succeed? No, Chen Mu planned to wait patiently for a while. As time went by, 2 days passed. The lion vulture was still fine, and even under Chen Mu's control, it could carry out various hunting operations. Because of its huge size, coupled with the body of a male lion and the flying ability of a vulture, its hunting success rate was almost 100%. Chen Mu looked at the special creature in front of him. It looks like it should be successful, Chen Mu muttered. However, the creature in front of him was completely different from what Chen Mu imagined. What Chen Mu wanted was just a lion with wings, but this one was simply a combination of a lion and a vulture. And the big head and the bare vulture neck without feathers made Chen Mu very uncomfortable. Chen Mu raised his claws and waved. Puff, with the sound of blood and flesh being separated, the lion vulture died directly and fell to the ground without a sound. Chen Mu said lightly, even if it is alive, it has power, but it is too ugly and does not meet my needs. No. Next one. If you want to do it, Do the most perfect one. Don't do it with flaws.